Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the latest episode of the Get Messy podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Liv Doomer.
And I'm here with my co-host, Max Landon.
Yep, and we are here with an incredible guest, my good friend, Sean. Well, I don't know if you want me to put your last name there. My good friend, Sean McGee.
Hey. Thanks for having me. It's so nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Let's hit it.
Liv Doomer. Landon. Loves it. Kicking, chit-chatting, talking about all the things. Alright, that's on. It's about to get messy. Get messy. That's on. And if you're not having fun, then just sleep.
All right. So, Sean.
Yeah,
Thanks
give
so much
Sean
for joining
give him a little intro.
Okay,
how do y'all know each other?
Okay, so I've known Sean for some years now. We never really were in the same place at the same time, it seemed like. So
I was like a little staggered, like, you know.
Yeah, so we're both from Roanoke. Sean moved to Richmond a little bit before I did. And then by the time I was in Richmond, I think you had already moved up to New York at that point.
Right. Like just by like, I'm like a 2-year, like high, you know.
Yeah.
Difference.
Yeah, and we share some mutual friends, obviously because Roanoke's not that big of a place, but I originally got to know Sean pretty well through my good friend Kelly, who is a hoot and a holler. And yeah, I feel like we got to know each other like in Roanoke one time, and just I ended up giving you a ride to Richmond, and then we've been friends ever since.
It was iconic.
That
ride was wow. Like I still think back to that. Like that is like the best road trip experience. Oof.
It was fun. Yeah, it was really fun.
Nice.
Wait, so you're in New York right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in Roanoke. I was in, as Max described, Richmond for a while. Went to college out there, and then moved to New York for 7 years. Tried the whole teaching thing. Nope, not for me. So
I don't blame you. God bless teachers.
And here's the thing though, like I made it through like the whole disaster of teaching online for like a year and a half. And then like I went back to like in person, and you know, I was like making really good money and stuff. And I was like, oh, like I'm a prison warden. Like this is not what I signed up for. So yeah. So no, I'm back. I'm going to school for like visual design, which is basically like I went to school for like visual art in general at VCU. Yeah. So just more on the design side of like illustration, graphic design, things like that. So that'll be actually starting literally in a week. So
that's so fun. That's actually I went to school for that. You're gonna have so much fun. Yeah.
Cool. That's nice to know.
Yeah, the people that are in those classes are like the funnest.
Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that it's really good to hear like those encouraging things, because it's like girl has not been in school in a while, so I'm just like brushing up, you know.
Yeah, not to say it's not hard, but it like challenges you in a different way. It's like more challenging you creatively. So
and I love that, because I mean that's like definitely like where I like to be challenged, because I feel like it's something that you can grow in, and it's going to be like productive because you can actually apply those skills, you know.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with no kids now.
Oh, or parents or mimas or
yeah,
grandmas or oh my God. Or like, what did you say to Shantae? I'm like, I have 600 kids. I don't know who Shantae is. I'm sorry. I really don't.
So yeah, we kind of did a little bit of talking or chatting before the show, and just we're kind of brainstorming on different topics to talk about. I think one of the kind of general motifs that we all kind of came across organically was just sort of maybe like a podcast about relationships this time, or things that are relationship adjacent, whether that be your friends, your partners, your side pieces, whatever you've got.
Slam pigs, whatever.
Slam pigs, yes. I'll shout out to all the slam pigs out there. Real quick, just at the top of the episode, I wanted to make a note, because our last episode, well, not the Get Spooky one, but the last one with Jennifer Shaw, where we talked about the Housewives of Salt Lake City. Sean, I know you're a fan too. So we got a little update. So since that happened, I think we talked about the last time we were on the pod, I talked about how I thought the darkest thing from that episode was that Heather revealed that Jen got out of her car at like after one block or whatever.
The shady
So,
Uber ride.
Yes, the shady Uber ride. So the Uber ride has gone on record to a podcast called Bitch Sesh, which is also what we call when, you know, we decide we want to complain about things. I might have stolen it from them. Sorry, girls, but
Oh wait, I thought you like came up with that. I thought you were
I
like,
thought I
Oh
did
no,
too.
I've heard of
and then
I've heard of them. Yeah.
I think I'd heard of it before, and I think I thought I came up with it, but it's a good thing we didn't name our
Okay.
podcast that. Anyways, we'll give credit to those ladies where it's due. But they had the Uber driver on, and I listened to it today, and apparently what had happened was she gets in the Uber, she's wasted, annihilated. And I guess they'd been filming earlier that night. And she tells the Uber driver that she wants to cancel the trip and start a different one with him. So she gives her she gives him her phone because she's like, help, I don't know how to do this. And she doesn't have any apps installed on her phone, like no Uber, no Lyft, no anything. So she just gives him $100. She just gives him $100 bill. And it's like, oh, like, will you take me to this like event? It's a party, it's a thing. And he takes her to these like condominiums or something like that. And apparently it's alleged that there's like some affair going on that with some guy that's linked to Jen and Meredith and maybe even Lisa too. So that's the latest in that.
I'm like a little Reddit fucking freak. And so I saw a picture of this guy, and he is very shocking because, you know, they are both attractive, you know, like upper mobile lady. Is maybe this is not the same guy. Is this guy?
I'm thinking of the Uber driver, actually. I don't know what the other guy looks like. Yeah. I was like, he's kind of handsome.
Allegedly, this guy also has been with a New York housewife as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So like,
I need to see this guy.
Yeah, no, I will text Max a picture you guys can share, because if it is, you know, it's alleged if that's the guy, because that is
alleged.
Oh
just
God,
like
I love
alleged
that.
fraud. That is
right.
true.
I love this alleged like business, like girl, and like I don't know. Did you watch the Hulu documentary?
Oh yeah.
And so like they're basically like they got you, girl. They got you. Like
they got me, gals.
Yeah, like it's not, you know, I mean, it's like I understand you're not going to be like, yeah, I did it if you're on a reality TV show, and obviously the implications are terrible, but it's just like you can't act like what happened, like you're very deeply involved.
Yeah, and I was and not to like, you know, go off on a tangent with this because I know we do have other stuff to discuss, but I was listening to another Bravo podcast today, and someone mentioned something that I thought was interesting, where it was she keeps on throwing money at this situation and with lawyers and all of that stuff. But the thing about it is when you get federally indicted, it takes a really long time to build a federal case, and they usually don't indict you unless they have enough evidence to convict you. That's why like Teresa and Joe from Jersey, they took a plea deal.
Yes.
But she's not taking a plea deal. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I've heard that this case has been building up for like over a decade, like since maybe 2008 or 6 or something crazy like that. Like this is not like a stuff, oh, like she's on TV, now let's investigate. Like this is, and as you mentioned, like if it's a federal indictment, like they've been working on it.
Yeah, the feds usually don't fuck up if they're gonna charge you.
Waste their time.
Right. So, just gonna kind of start. Oh, I put a star next to this because we like to talk about good stories, and I feel like you have really good stories, Sean. And this was actually something you brought up in our text message too. And I have some good stories. I was kind of talking to Liv beforehand. She doesn't have any crazy stories, but she does have some experience with it.
Now, okay, I was gonna say I got crazy stories, but not about what you're about to bring up. But
yeah, which is Call Me Max and Neve, catfish.
Oh,
so
my God.
I want to hear what you have to say about catfishing.
So I feel like it's so prominent in the gay community, and I think it's really sad because it's indicative of like people just not feeling comfortable being like out or being themselves, or there's so many layers to it, and I just see it all the time. I actually just got this dude's account on the classy site Adam for Adam, and by site I mean app. Adam for Adam, where he was messaging me trying to be like, hey, can I come over? Hey, can I come over? And I was like, bro, like, first of all, like, and like, I don't know, like you can tell when like the pictures are all like professional, like studio pictures that you could just like find from like a porn star. And he's like an escort, all that stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but I'm like, I'm gonna fuck with Joe. So, so I was like, let's see how far this goes. And yeah, and so he was like telling me all these like, it's like more like, I mean, I like, you know, dealt with like, you know, actual like porn stars and escorts and stuff. And I'm like, you know, the conversations are not this in depth and very like I don't get like 14 paragraphs. I'm like, something's up, something's sour in this little milk carton. And so he basically was like, ha ha ha, like why would you think that? I'm like, well I know it. I'm pretty sure like I actually know this guy. And he's like pretty big in the game. So like that's just like weird. Like maybe choose like just a random hot guy, like Google search.
Oh, this
Not
was
like,
this was a porn star
yeah, and like escort
in
and
New
all that
York.
stuff. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I was
Oh
like,
shit. So you knew the actual person.
yeah, and I'm like, honey. So then he gave me his number, right? So I call him and he's like, who is this? And I'm like, you are clearly from Southeast Asia. And I just don't, it was just a mess. It was a hot mess. And he's like, okay, well, and I'm like, sir, no. And so then I was like, and so, and the guy in question is like super Long Island, like broy, like I'm like, this is not like, you know what I mean? Like
It was
there's
all
no way.
wrong. It was all off.
It was all off from A to Z. So yeah, no, it's just I've experienced so many of these guys who are like, and usually what the con is like they're trying to get money out of you. They're like, oh, like if you cash out me this or that, then I'll like come over. Some bullshit. Or sometimes they just genuinely want like dick pics, or they're looking to get something that I feel like obviously they are incapable of getting on their own, which is like sad, but it's also like, I don't know, be funny or smart or rich or something. I don't know, like
Dang, make a struggle, bitch.
like make a struggle.
Oh my god, that's funny. So
I had
only
a
have, like,
dude who actually was from there, or not far from you, who was trying, this is years ago, it's like literally 10 years ago, which is kind of scary. But he was like talking to me and several other guys, and he had the same story of like, because there's always like, and it's true, like when it's like the online thing, there's always a story that's a disaster. It's like, oh, my mom died today. You're like, what? Or like it's like, or there's horrible like I need money for gas because like my car was in a fire. And I'm like, there's not many like this many disasters is very uncommon to happen to one soul in a week. Like it's just, but then also you're like a beautiful model.
yeah, it's like phone a friend, bitch. Like
yes.
I have a catfishing story that's I almost don't want to say it out loud or on record, but I'm gonna do it. It's kind of fucked up. So I just want to preface this story with the fact that this guy actually ended up being an asshole and was rude to service people.
Oh, then he deserved it.
We're gonna start with that. So I've been messaging this guy. I don't think it was like Grindr, Adam for Adam. I think it was Tinder. Not that that's really any fucking different.
Oh, so
but
classy, I see, bitch.
yeah, you know. And we had talked, and he wanted to take me on a date, which I thought was really sweet. So he was like, yeah, come over to my apartment and I'll like, you know, we can drive to this place, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, while this might not make as much sense to the heterosexual people out here, us gay people just be going into
just
all types of situations. No, I'm just saying, like, you would never like, you know, like, I wouldn't.
He's like, you just don't get
it. No, I'm just mean like, Liv, like if you were like, if a guy was talking to you and was like, hey, I'm going to take you out to dinner and like hang out, and you never met him in person, never FaceTimed or anything like that, you probably wouldn't do it, right? Like a rational person.
Yeah, that'd weird me out.
Yeah, it's a little different. For us. I don't know why it's different. It shouldn't be, but it is. So anyways, I show up to this guy's house. This is in Richmond. And go to the door. And he shows up, and
I love how you're like grabbing your head. You're like,
his picture did look like him, but he also was like, he was so fucked up. Like I said, if he was a super nice person, it would have been a different situation.
Just spill it.
He was physically disabled.
I'm like, just spill it. I'm like so mean. I'm like, I don't care.
he was like handicapped, like he was like physically disabled, like he had to use those like things that they put on your like
The,
wrists to like
Oh,
walk,
no.
like
Yeah,
Timmy
but-
from South Park.
yeah.
And so, and like at that point, like I'm already at this guy's apartment,
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
kind of
like,
felt
I
like
can't, like,
really
I'm not gonna,
uncomfortable.
I'm not gonna be a dick, you know.
Right.
So like, we'll give you, you know, we'll give it a shot and free dinner, so whatever.
Right.
So we went to a pretty nice Italian place, and he just ended up being weird. He was just, I felt like it was weird because like I understand like if you have a, you know, a disability like that, not wanting to like necessarily like lead with that, but it's also like weird when like
I don't think you
if
should like
you know the other
blindside people with
person
that
is
though.
True. Like, I mean, you got to be like, it's a matter of authenticity, you know?
right. And like I said, he wasn't very nice, and he wasn't very nice to the waiters. So I don't feel that bad about retelling that story. But
No,
just to
and
clarify,
also, yeah. So what was the information that he disclosed to you prior to you meeting him in his murder den?
not. I mean, it was a while ago, and you know how these things go. So I don't really recall a lot of it.
Yeah.
I just remember
But
they were just
nothing.
messaging, flirting, like
Yeah.
talking about like what we, you know, whatever. It was very like
Yeah.
it was just like, I want to take you on a date, and I was like, okay, where do I go?
Yeah. And
Kill
you
me.
know, like, okay, I'll put this blindfold on. It sounds cool. Oh yeah. No, but I've had so many, and it's just, and it's getting more. And I think that as more apps proliferate and as the internet and technology just advances, it just gets more and more prevalent. Ooh la la. So I went to high school with a little shawty, female, who actually almost got a felony charge for her deep years long catfishing, to where someone she found this girl and they went to camp together, right?
Okay.
Found her on social media. You think you're done, you know, years go by. This girl, they're in later high school, and this girl who happens to be whatever, you know, bigger girl. So she took and stole all of the pictures that were available on social media of this girl, who was more like whatever, you know, traditionally, whatever, conventionally attractive. And she had been talking to like dozens of guys. And to the point where, but like they lived in the same, like maybe a couple towns over. And so she basically, like the girl would be out, and then it lasted from high school till college. So it was a span of time. Crazy.
This is a hobby.
Oh yeah, and it was like
a full-time
profession.
job.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like,
Where's my
oh, like,
W-2, bitch?
exactly. You gonna file it? Come on, sis. Like, where's the? Do you have an HR that I can contact? But no. So she, eventually, the girl. This is kind of scary because it was like a matter of safety. The girl, met with this guy. This guy like aggressively came onto the bar and was like, "Why didn't you respond to me? Why did you ghost me? Like, why did you not meet me at the steakhouse or whatever?" And she's like, "What are you talking about, bro? I've never met you." So the like, I guess she had the catfish had talked to the guy as this girl, and so the girl was like freaking out, and these things kept happening to her. And she's a very outgoing social person, and eventually they finally found it out. Like they finally found, like, you know, connected the dots. And the girl was like, I don't know if it was a plea deal or something. And it was like, it was such a scandal in my like little like high school Facebook. I mean, we were in college about that time, or no, maybe even out of college, but it was like, it was actually like a decade long thing. And we all knew that she had done it because one of the like down low guys that like I got in with was like, she did it to him. It was just a whole mess, but we always kind of knew it, but we didn't know it was like that deep fake.
Was she using the girl's name too, or was it just the pictures?
Oh, it was I'm not sure. That's a good question. I think it was a different name, but it was like pictures, but it was like she had to been stalking her in order to, it was like every like updated picture she would collect.
I'm like terrified that's gonna happen to me, or like that is happening to me. I have
Yes.
no idea. Like, how would I know?
You would know, exactly. And the
Yeah.
only reason she knew is because the guy was just really mad because he thought that like they were in a relationship, and that she just kept blowing him off. And like, you know, as a female, like you don't want to get accosted by a dude at the bar, like, oh, and you don't know him at all. Like that's probably I mean, that'd be horrifying for me as a guy, but I imagine the girl, that's terrifying.
When people are crazy.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like the best people for catfishes to use for their catfish profiles are like people that seem normal, if that makes sense, that are like, okay, so I was telling Max, my only catfish experience was actually happened this past year. It was this guy on Hinge. I don't even know if he was a catfish, but I'm like 95% sure he was. He looked like he was attractive, but like not out of this world attractive. Like, you know how you said that one you had was like a model or like a porn star or whatever. He was not like that, but like he was
Yeah.
like he was attractive and like he had like all like normal pictures and stuff. But then like he said he had no social media, and I was like, okay, weird, but like you really don't have anything, like not even a Facebook for like your family or anything.
Right.
And he was like, no. And then like he didn't want to meet up. And then I don't know, like his number just like didn't match with where he said he lived or anything. Like it was just all really fucking bizarre. And then
Yeah.
eventually he just like
Red
stopped talking
flags
to me.
all over the board.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because as soon as I said like I was like, oh, like that's kind of weird. Like, are you like a catfish or something? He like stopped talking to me. I was like, okay.
Like once you like, if you really are accused of being a catfish, then I mean, and I've actually like I've talked to dudes who are like, it's so hot that they like, oh, this happens to me. But then they prove themselves, or they're like the 3-finger test, or like write something on a paper. Like
Yeah,
if you're
like
talking
hold
to
a
someone,
spoon
yeah.
on your nose.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's,
you
I
know?
was hoping he would like send a picture of himself, and then he just like never responded to me ever again. I was like, oh, okay, so he was a catfish.
So you,
Yeah,
you
that
just
would
you
be-
dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
My advice for the girls, the gays, and the days is if you ever are in question, ask them to take a picture with a spoon on their nose.
There we go.
Right?
The good
There we
old.
go.
We're gonna tell our grandkids or whatever our if we ever have progeny, but like, you know, did you try the old spoon on the nose trick? Eddie, like, oh my god, it's getting out of control though. It's getting crazy, and it feels bad because people are like, why are you so mad about this? I'm like, no, because it's like, I mean, like I said, there's like a monetary, like people are trying to like scam people, and like it's just nuts. It's like it gets so out of hand, and I know that there's people out there that are like not as bitchy and diligent as me that would be like, okay, you know, like sure. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. Does anyone watch 90 Day Fiance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jenny and
I
Sunit?
haven't seen.
Wait, which ones are they?
Okay, Jenny
Okay,
is
I
the
have to look.
woman who is literally 30 years than that she thought she was talking to, and he is he's like a model that looks like he's Barcelona, right? And there's no reason, and I'm not trying to be that shady, there's no reason he'd be talking to her randomly on Facebook, but he chose the name Michael Brown, like the no, this is even better because it's a fucking rapper, Mike Jones. He chose that name to catfish people. He is a rather regular younger call center worker from India, and he chose Michael Jones. He was just like, what sounds American? And he
Wait, it was
Michael
Mike Jones?
Yes. And he
861
Mike
334.
Jones. That's my cell phone number. Hit me on the low. No, but anyway, so he chose that and to talk to this lady, this older woman from Palm Springs who was 30 years his senior. And then they were like talking. This is like 2000, like 10 years ago. And then they found out.
Name, Sean?
Yeah.
What are their names? I want to look up the
this
picture.
is okay, yeah, please. Jenny and Sumit. So Jenny, you know, and then Sumit is Sumit.
Which season was this? Because I just started watching not that long ago, and I don't know them.
They are from a couple seasons ago, but they've been long players. So both of you,
maybe that's
both
why.
of you, need to look them up. But so the premise is
Fuck. My company computer won't let me do it.
Mine came up like right away. All I had to type in was
Oh.
Jenny, and it like came up right away.
Yes. And so they basically
Now I see his picture, and you said, what's he supposed to be? He's supposed to be.
Well, so he is if you find his actual picture, I mean, he looks nothing like the person that he sent pictures of, like a Spanish model that he was like, oh, like I'm Michael Jones. And then they, you know, got into an online relationship. Turns out that all along he was another guy, and she was so smitten / lonely that she just didn't care she was catfished for years. She was like, well, now you're my boyfriend, like I'll take what I can get.
Well,
So-
okay. I mean, in his defense, this guy, I don't get the whole catfishing thing, because this he's not bad looking. It's just like, why would you say that you're like
It's sad,
some
though.
Barcelona model thing? It's like,
Yeah.
why?
Well, it's
He
really
definitely looks
sad.
better than she does.
Yeah, well,
Just
he's also
saying.
like,
Sorry.
he's also 30 years younger. But the thing is, though, it's really sad though, because as I said earlier, it has a lot to do with like social pressure, standards, beauty standards, especially with I think with females, with gay men, like in Instagram culture, it's like, you know, if you're not perfect, like, like it's like there's so much pressure hitting us every day that I feel like, and especially like it's racialized, because it's like he literally said, he's like, and he said recently, because he was just on one of the last seasons, they have back-to-back seasons, they pop them shits out, like
They don't
every
stop.
day. It's a continuous loop.
The girls don't believe in COVID. They've been recording through COVID.
No,
love
and they
it.
don't believe in condoms or COVID. But so they just
God bless him.
basically, but they he said that he was insecure because he's Indian, and he said I didn't think that she liked me because I'm Indian, and that like made me sad because I was like, you know, like she obviously did not care because they're married now. So
Right.
yeah, it's just like it's I think it says a lot more about our culture than people think it does. Like it's a funny thing, and it's like shitty, and it's like people get scammed, but it's also has to do with people's like levels of like insecurity.
Self-confidence.
And
Yeah.
That's why I honestly, I really don't like meeting people from online. I prefer to just like meet people in person. Like I'm not
much
into the
prefer that.
whole, like all my friends are like, you should try it because I'm single and all my friends like, you should do online dating. I'm like, I'm really just not into that. Like I just like meeting people in person.
It's so
Which
much
is
more
hard.
real and authentic. It's more difficult, you're right.
Like
But I
especially
think
right now.
well, now I know. But I feel like under normal circumstances, like it just feels good to meet someone out. Like, oh my God, like you like this, I like this. Or like, you know, it's not to say that, you know, there's not benefits to that. Or also there's like the whole like hookup side of things, but like to actually meet someone with a connection, it just feels so good to like be at like a fucking museum and you're like, oh, and you start a conversation or like, you know, like those moments I think are like super cherishable.
Yeah, they just feel really genuine.
For
I
sure.
agree. I will be a devil's advocate here for online dating just because my last my ex we met in person and it was kind of cute. We had the whole you were there for it. Yep, that's right.
Oh, for real?
I was there
You're,
for it.
you're a witness to this?
I was a
Yeah.
witness. Yeah, me and Taylor, we were there causing a ruckus. We were actually like banging on the neighbor's door with the what did he have? He had like dreadlocks, like a little Jerry curl up in the front. He
I
had
don't know what y'all were doing. I was focusing on getting laid that night, but
I'm
that
using the
ended up
Jerry
turning
curl
into-
and dreads combination. So
well, because Zach Wonder told us to go over because he was going to complain about the noise because there was like a party that night or something, and he was like, go over and make friends with the neighbor. So me and Taylor went over and we were trying to flirt with the neighbor, and he was so creepy. He like brought out this like cat. I don't know. And then he brought over shots. Wait, were you there for that?
I probably was, but I don't recall.
he physically was, but
Yeah, we don't know where he was mentally.
I feel like the last thing I remember about that night was being like, ooh, that guy's cute. And the next thing I know, woke up in a different city in that fella's bed. And then that ended up turning into a relationship. But that's just to say that my current partner who I'm with, I did meet on Tinder and he's great. And we've been great. Oh, so I think it's just kind of situational, but like I do think I was lucky to like
it's not
after
impossible.
all the online. Yeah.
It's definitely possible. And I mean, I think you're a lucky, like you are one of the like, you know, good stories of it. And it's not that I down it. Like I think that it's great and I use it but everything like that. But it is like I think I just really resonate with like what Liv said about it's just it hits different when it's like, you know, I mean maybe it doesn't hit different, but it can. It's just like it reminds me of like, I don't know, like, I mean, we're all around the kind of the same, you know, generation of like where this is common for us. But like back in the day, it was like you had to go out to bars. You had to go out or like something. You had or go to like singles events and stuff. And like, you know, that type of stuff, like, you know, I mean, I've done like speed dating, which was fucking hilarious. And like, it's just those things, like they can be like disastrous, but they do kind of remind me of like the humanity behind like connection. Because a lot of times it's based on like oh like this or that, but you know it doesn't just because a connection might be superficial doesn't mean it can't turn into something substantial.
And I will also put like a little addendum into what I was saying earlier. So I think it's also very easy to, especially depending on what type of like mental state you're in, but I know I've done this before where I've like totally like fallen for someone like online before I actually met them in person. And I think that is a weird situation because the way you type and interact and all of that stuff, it just doesn't always come across the same. So I will say even, you know, with the relationship I'm in now, I didn't necessarily, obviously going on that first date, I didn't know much about him, didn't know much. So it was a physical, like it was we didn't really bond until it was, you know, person to person, face to face.
You have that extra level.
Right. Whereas like I've done the opposite thing and I've gotten my feelings hurt and like a little heartbroken and all that stuff before. So I think it's just crazy how people can present so differently online versus what actually comes out in person.
People love to flex on, especially even through texting. Like everyone knows social media can be like a flex, but even texting, like like I'll like literally see a dude like like someone that's in my like house like chilling. I'm like going to like do something, and he's like texting me all this like nice shit. Then I get back and it's like then like I don't get like a hi. I'm like, oh, like I guess all right, like I'm gonna go watch
I'll go fuck
Hulu.
myself. Yeah.
Like it's so weird. But I mean, it's also our generation. We're so much more comfortable with technology, and also there's a distance between texting and like being like, I'm in your face, like this is what's happening.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's like a thing too I noticed. I think it's probably when with you're saying like with our generation, like I'm so much more inclined to like pick up the phone and call somebody, and I feel like a lot of other people aren't like that. Like they would rather text somebody, and I'm just like I don't like having a full conversation over text. Like I'm just gonna pick up the phone and call you.
I can't
that's
do
what
it.
I'm used to doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a call person over a text person. A, it's more efficient, and B, I don't know. I just feel like there's no confusion.
Right.
Exactly, because it can be so misconstrued over words and like, you know, totally.
And I feel like a lot of
it's warmer.
I feel like a lot of people that are, you know, in our age group, like don't feel the same way. Like I know a lot of people who are like, don't call me, only text me. And I'm just like, okay.
Super common. Yeah, I know people get pissed. People are like, what? Like, I mean, there's like all those memes are like what is happening? Like, what's happening to my phone? It's like someone's calling you.
Right. It's like can't relate. Meanwhile, like me and Max are like calling each other all the time, like annoying the fuck out of each other.
Oh no, see, Max is one of my favorite all-time FaceTime. Like, I love it. Like you and like maybe 4 other people are like my consistent like best times. Like just our FaceTimes are hilarious, and like and I'll screenshot them because I'm just like I don't like maybe be a little tipsy, but I was like. Like the next day, I'm like, well, why was I in my windowsill talking to Max and at 2 a.m.
I feel like we've like known each other in another life or something, because like the amount of hours we've actually spent hanging out with each other, not really a ton.
Right.
But then again, like I feel like the first time we met, we had like the most fun. It was just like instant. Like sometimes you just vibe with people like that. We're also both Pisces.
True. Toxicos. But no, we started talking over social media, and then when I met you in person, I was like that. And my mom, first of all, was like, that boy is so he drove you all the way here. I'm like, well, mom, he's also like drove me, he lives here too. Or his family's here, you know? But no, I definitely felt that instant. And if you feel that warmth and that friendship with someone, like you should like maintain. Like I'm trying to talk to, you know, recently coming back from New York, I'm like trying to tell people like, hey, like I'm gonna talk on the phone. Like I wanna like, you know, do whatever. And they're like, yeah, I'll try. I'm like, all right, bitch, never mind. But like it's like, but it's like, you know, I love having that like kind of interpersonal, and especially these days where it's like we're coming out of quarantine and we're like kind of might go back, like it's fucked up and scary. Like I just love that. Like I'm a very interpersonal person, and I'm a very like I'm a very loving person. So it's just like I need those little, you know, moments to kind of feel like you're a person again, and not just like a like I'm a robo. What was that fucking AIM? You could like robo text. It would was it the messenger? It would just you could like talk like how old is Christina Aguilera's aunt, and they would like tell you like some weird shit on AIM or like messenger or whatever back in the day.
Oh, okay, yeah, that I think I know what you're talking about.
I feel like I'm just like a bot sometimes, but thank you for making me feel like I'm more than a bot and not just a bot.
And I feel like we should definitely get back to this this conversation in terms of growing apart from friends, just with moves and stuff like that. But I also just wanted to, like, since this is the Get Messy podcast and we like to talk about times where we have gotten a little messy, I'd be remiss if we weren't to tell the story of that time I commandeered a limo for us.
I can only imagine.
First of all, this was when I'm sad, Max, I literally think of this just to be like, I'm good. Like, this is my life. I've done this. Like this, I'm not like, I'm okay. I will be okay. Because this is one of the best times of my fucking life.
Okay, I want to hear I want to hear you tell.
Okay. Well, okay, but please correct me from the details. But I know that we went to your apartment. I was in town for a wedding. So like, you know, that was like messy on site. And then this is October of 2019, correct? Yeah. So damn, over 2 years ago. And then So I get into town and I'm really like, there's certain people, like as you get older, you just don't want to, I don't want the riffraff. I'm like, I want my peoples. If you're in town, I want to see you. Like, I don't need Angela and Pamela and Renee. I want my fucking friends. And so I went to your place. We were, I don't know, many Trulies, some bottles, lots of fun items. And then you were telling me about this bar that I had never heard of, which was like Louisiana themed.
Good old Thirsty's RVA. Yep, I got a lot of trade from that bar.
It's like a trade. It's like where guys go. They're like, I might be gay, and then we're there, we're like, you are. So,
well, I would say so. It's like a gay bar, but they don't like outright call it a gay bar. But
yeah, it's transitional.
But it's basically a gay bar. Like they
yeah.
pour you all liquor, no juice,
and it's on the bottom of a hill, which is a dangerous place to be placed. And so we get there, and the first thing I notice is that there are slushies of Four Locos.
Oh Lord.
So
yes.
So there's that, right? So we get rounds of them. And then you're telling me stories about the bartenders that are there, and I'm like trying not to make it that obvious that you're talking about them. I'm like
bartenders I've slept with.
I'm like, I love this sheet on the tape. Like I'm trying to like keep it like together, and you're like, yeah, no. And so I believe that there was eventually someone who you recognized who, did you know that he had a limo?
I think it was the owner. I didn't know he had a limo, no,
okay,
but he set my couch up for me.
Well, you finessed it like you knew you had like.
I mean, I knew him. He put my couch together for me.
No, but I'm saying like you made it seem like you were like, let's get this limo, pop in. So you like go outside for a minute, like me and Kelly, because we met, we have a friend, Kelly, who we are very close with, and kind of, we didn't like meet through her, but we like are all close with her and from the same town. But we're like probably dancing to like Shania Twain or something. And you go outside, you like disappear for a minute, and then you come back like with this little smirk, because you have that smirk. And it's like, and you come back and you're just, and you take like my hand and her hand together, and you're like, let's go. And like, and then
that sounds so Max.
Yeah, right.
Like, just like a fashion.
I know you can like, I know you can picture this love, but like, so we go out, and then you're like, and then there's this like stretch limo. Like, first of all, we're in a gravel pit in a forest, like like in a valleys, and then there's a limo. And I wish I could like screen share like the videos of that night, because I never felt so fancy. We get in, and it's like, and it's one of those limos that's not, I've been in a basic limo, I've been in several limos, but there's like, this one was like souped up. Like there was like it was like 1999 Britney Spears tour. Like there was like there was like drinks on the side, and like
if you send the videos to Max, I'll put them in.
Fuck yes.
We definitely have some videos from that.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, send them to Max, and when I edit this video, I'll pop them in.
Yes. Oh, and they're so good. But it was beautiful. It was like, because I felt like we were all bonding, and also I was just like really impressed with like his finesse. I'm like, that's why he.
It was just the three of us in that damn limo. I don't know how we got the guy into just like driving us around.
And then what did you say? You're just like, just drive us around for a long time, and he's like, okay, and he's like, but he was having fun. I kept on like peeking over, and he was like he
did he give me the aux cord?
He was having a good time.
Oh my God, he gave you the aux cord, bitch. We were playing. Yes. It was amazing. We were just like, there's videos of me just like looking back at it and like aggressively, like it was just so fun. And then God, it was so fun. What the hell? It was just, and then we were all filming. So like we all like put our videos together. It was so fun. But I will send them to Max. So you can edit them. Well, that was one of the best, oh my God, nights, because it was so random, because like I
and organic. It just sort of happened.
Organic. That's a perfect.
It was like literally like this bar right next to my apartment that like.
I know. What is it now? Not there anymore.
It's still there. Yeah.
Okay. Because
anyone who's interested,
someone told me, right? Advertisement.
Go ahead and follow Thirsty's RVA for a good time.
Oh my Lord.
They make the drink strong. The food's also pretty good.
I think that it had like a little maybe like a Frito pie item. Something was good. But then
they always had really good, the jambalaya hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of like a Louisiana flavor to it.
Yeah, it's New Orleans themed. That's the only place I ever bartended, and I only did it for like a month because I was really bad at it. And they basically told me the only reason why I was getting the bartending job was like, so like, I remember exactly when that bar opened up, and they had like the like dustiest people working there. And it's like a gay bar. So like, you know, like at most
Yeah.
gay bars,
I like how
you
you say that and
have,
then
like,
say they tried to hire you.
well, no, so like yeah.
They tried to upgrade with Max.
So well, no, so like I mean at most gay bars, I feel like they typically will hire like attractive
yeah,
bartenders.
they know their
sometimes
target
they're, like
audience.
shirtless. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like the bartender I remember from going there was one straight dude, and then there was a lady who was like in her like 50s or 60s, heavy smoker, black eyeliner everywhere.
Oh, so me and like a, a couple of years.
You, if you age really, really poorly, if you have a really shitty next couple of decades, you won't be her. But
Oh my god.
but no, so I was like, oh, like I have restaurant experience. I was drunk at the time when I was talking to the bartender
You're
about
like
this.
blackout
was
of
the
time.
owner.
Like, here's my application.
Yeah, for real. Like I was like, I've got a full-time job, but I mean, like I'm happy to come in here at nighttime and help you guys out. And they just hired me because they were like, oh yeah, we like wanted someone younger. And I was like, yeah, I know it's true.
AKA cuter. Like, look at this like cherubic face, bitch. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I was not good at bartending. I was
It's
really
not for
bad.
everyone, and it's hard.
He would be like, I want a blah blah blah, and I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you just said, but you're getting a rum and coke.
See, that's why I could never bartend. I literally only know how to make like vodka soda, rum and coke. That's about it.
Same. And all my friends who do it, like, they've been doing it for well, maybe they haven't been doing it for a while. And a lot of people transition from like other restaurant work, serving, or like even bar backing, or other things to doing it. But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like I'd either make the drinks too strong, and then my managers would get, or like the people get mad at me, or they would just be wrong and the clientele would get mad at me. So I'm like, either way, I'm just like, I'll just like, I don't know, like I'll play charades.
I was just mean. I would just be like, no, you're not. I'm not.
You what?
You're being.
You were just being hateful to the girls.
I'd be like, you're wasted. You need a beer. You don't need a fucking whatever the hell dirty alligator piss water. Like you're good.
Well, Max, what I want to know is what it was like on like a poppin' night, because weren't we there on a random Tuesday or like something?
On a poppin' night, it's like slightly there's like not enough space for everything, unless it's like summertime and you can go outside. But like it's not a very large establishment. Yeah. So if it's like really popping, it's like really popping.
Oh my
and they
God.
do this thing, like not to dwell on Thursdays, but they do this thing, or they did this thing. I don't know if they still do, but it cringes me to the bottom of my soul because I know I participated in it, where you could do karaoke, but the karaoke, the way it worked was like, I mean, it was like regular karaoke, but they had outdoor speakers. And they would play your outdoor speaker version of the karaoke too. So you just be singing on the fucking street.
So usually it's contained to like at least a room. This is like the streets be knowing what's up.
They all know.
Streets is watching. Wow, that is great. See, I only went there that one time, and then I've only went back to Richmond once since then, but it was like another wedding. So like I just all these breeders. No, I'm just playing. But it's just like it was just, I don't know. I really would love to go back. And for some reason, I like thought I heard someone tell me that it was shut down, and I was like, oh my God, it better not be.
I think they like scaled back or like closed down for a little bit of COVID, but last time I checked, I'm gonna Google it actually, because
no, that was one of the best times like of my life. Like, Liv, I wish you were there, because it was honestly, it was so random. Like, it wasn't those nights where you're like, we're gonna get a party bus. It was like we just happened. Like he just literally just like, and I could see like Max was like working his little like, I could see what's going on in his mind. And he just like walked out, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm eating like I don't know, like cauliflower chicken wings or whatever the fuck they had. And then like deep fried, M&Ms. And then he comes back and he's like, let's go.
Well, if they're still open, we need to go. I'm down to go to Thursday.
Open. I just Googled it. It's a really good time.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like all my crazy experiences are just up in New York. Like, I feel like anytime I go out in New York, it's always a fucking excursion.
Girl, I just literally, it's hard. I mean, I was there for 7 years, just went back recently to visit, and it's like, wow. You can, and it's like every possible area, because there's so many scenes. You can be any type of person and any type of vibe and just have the time of your life. Like,
that's what I try to tell people. Like, the little areas are like all such different vibes. So whatever you're feeling, you can just like go to wherever you're feeling.
And that's the best part. And I love the diversity and like just the fact that you can be in like you can be in like just in Queens and have the time of your life. You don't have to be in like the spots that everyone thinks of, or the like Manhattan. There's other parts of it that are not in Manhattan. I mean, I love Manhattan. Being a gay guy, like Manhattan is usually where it's at.
See,
But, like,
yeah, I'm
you
a
know,
hoe for
I
Manhattan.
like Brooklyn.
yeah, but
Brooklyn's my favorite borough.
no, but Brooklyn is amazing. I mean, there's so many cool. I just like. I mean, there's so many things to do, and like, I mean, I was mad at myself. I went like not too long ago, and there was like, you know, like an Andy Warhol. Like there was like 2 different Andy Warhol exhibits I had to like choose from. I'm like, shit, that's fucking cool. Like I have options. Like, yeah, no, it was amazing. But yeah, no, but it can get so messy. What is some like a messy time that you like? I want to hear a messy time from you in New York, Liv.
Oh Lord. Well, okay. So me and my roommate at the time, we would always go out in Hell's Kitchen all the time. So I feel like Hell's Kitchen is always just like
Same.
just fucking messy to begin with. Like I was over here trying to think of like what the bar's name was that we always used to go to, and I can't even fucking think of the name of it. That's like how
Oh yeah.
that's how
Wait,
wasted I
not
was
to-
all the time.
Not to interject too much, but Sean, her roommate was Paul.
Yeah.
I get it now.
I didn't know if you were gonna add that in or not, but
We're all from Roanoke. We always fucking.
I
yeah,
get
we
it
know
now.
everyone. Yeah. Just to paint a picture.
yeah. Me and Miss Paul used to go out all the time.
Okay, Hell's Kitchen is where it's at. Hell's Kitchen is the gayest part of Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go. I cannot think of the name of this one little bar we used to go to, but we used to go and get wasted. It was not that far from Hardware. Because we'd always.
It could have been Posh. It could have been.
It was like 3 letters. It made me think of PBR, but it's not PBR.
Oh, there is. Oh shit.
The drinks were like cheap as shit.
There is. I'll think about it.
Yeah, but it
There's
wasn't
a
that far
lot.
from Hardware. But we used to like
Yeah.
always go there.
Hardware was fun too.
Yeah, and then we would like venture over to Hardware, and then we would go to Posh. That's what the basement, right?
Posh was the one that's a very lounge area, and no, the basement was probably Boxers. There's a good like
I was there last time I was in New York.
yeah. Well, there's lots
At
of
Boxers.
and there's a lot of new spots. Actually, the last time I was there, there's a lot of new spots in Hell's Kitchen. But yeah, no, the basement was just the bathroom and Posh, but the Posh was really
Yes.
cool.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. See, look, that's how fucking wasted I am every time I go there. I'm like, I remember going downstairs.
You're like to pee, yeah.
But yeah, so no, I nothing too crazy happened in Hell's Kitchen. I feel like Hell's Kitchen's always a good time, but I did have some random guy try and throw hands with me.
Why?
Well, that's it. I was like, we're just partying in like the gay bars, and I feel like no one ever tries to throw hands, but me and Paul were just out, and we were like partying and dancing, and this guy like out of nowhere like goes to like punch me in the face, and I like dodged it like Spider-Man. And then
You matrixed it.
literally yeah, no, and then luckily like we were friends with one of the like bouncers there, and he like threw him out. But that was the only crazy thing that happened.
Fuck that. And like I don't know, I mean there's a lot of, speaking of messy, a lot of messy queens, but the thing is well, I feel like there's different areas and different levels of messiness in New York, where like Hell's Kitchen, like a lot of people want to have, I mean it's a very big mix of a lot of people. There's like the Latin crowd, a lot of people come from out of, I mean, because it's the most concentrated gay bar area, which used to be Chelsea, used to be the Village. It all transmuted up, upper town. But it's like, there's lots of different scenes, but a lot of times people just want to have fun. Like,
Yeah.
And then but it sucks. Like, I mean, the fact that someone's trying to throw down bows on you,
Okay.
like, I'm like,
And I was ready to square up. I
bows.
was like, what's good?
Yes.
No, but there was one night we literally just like were so chaotic. We went to, are you familiar with the Jane or no?
I fucking love the Jane. And Max, do you know Boomer Banks? The
No.
porn star? Well, let me just say he invited
Let me
to
just
some-
I'm gonna put that down on my notes. though.
Let me just ask you, he asked me to sit on his lap at the Jane, and I was like, will I ever? Because I had a horrible date there, and I just literally left him, and then a bunch of drag queens like kidnapped me. But no, the Jane is beautiful, and I love the decor, and the vibe is wonderful. So
Immaculate.
yeah.
Do they have a rooftop bar there?
I don't know
I
if
feel like
the
I've been
roof,
to the Jane.
I don't think
But-
so.
Jane is
I've only
very
ever been in that like
documented.
ballroom area.
it's literally like a very, it's almost like not Victorian or whatever the era came after Victorian, but the decoration's very like kind of very 20s.
Yeah,
And
that's
oh,
the
but
vibe.
it's
And there's
a-
like the chandeliers and all.
Mhm.
I was like trying to explain it
And
to
it's a
Paul before we
hotel.
went. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hotel, but they have
Okay.
like for some reason tons of gay events.
Yeah, I was like trying to explain it to Paul, and I was like, trust me, we're gonna have fun there, because we were like having a night where we really weren't having fun, and I was like, okay, we need to go here because we're gonna have a blast, and he was like, that sounds like it's not gonna be fun. I was like, no, trust and
It's
believe.
beautiful.
We went,
All
we
the
were like
orgies
dancing on the
that-
tabletops, like wasted.
I feel classy, but also like I'm hammered. You know,
That's-
Y'all at
yes.
the 2-star hotel. I feel
well,
like all
listen.
the orgies that have happened in that 2-star hotel, they deserve a podcast.
But I've never made it to the hotel portion. I've only been to the ballroom, the bar.
That's how I am.
And then they have the staircase, the upper level. That's where I like sat on this 48-inch million dick. Not like sat on it like fucked him, but he was like talking to a bunch of people, and then he noticed me and pointing me over. I was like, and I like was magnetized over him.
That's the
But
thing.
then,
That
like,
place like feels like a dream. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, no, and then there's all those like taxidermy, like crazy, like elk.
Yes, like
And then
fucking
also,
weird, yes.
yeah, and there's wall hangings and tapestries and a fireplace. Like I felt like, I don't know, I was doing like weird like 20s dances and shit, like for no reason. Like
just doing the jitterbug.
You know what I mean? I was like I was Shauna Baker over here. Crazy. No, I'm so glad. No, but so Liv, obviously, I mean, I'm getting my little degree over here, but I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna be visiting New York. But the three of us need to have some New York fun.
Yes,
we really
definitely
do. Me and Liv went to New York one time together. I typically don't have a good time in New York, and I think it's my fault. We've talked about this on a different episode, but
Yes. Well, I remember you talking about it.
Well, yeah, the time me and Liv went together, I felt like it was just like it should have been a day and a night trip, and we just tried to do too much too soon.
It was like a lot.
Yeah,
but
that's
good
good though. At least you have the spirit of, because I like that. I kind of like don't like when people go like, because if I travel, I'm like, I want to get it in. Like I want to be like, I'm gonna go to this crazy like pond where there's like lizards. I'm gonna go to like the bar, and I'm also gonna go to like an art gallery. But like if you can't do that, at least you like tried, and you know, gumption. Like at least you like really made it try to happen.
Yeah, so we need to do
at least things that you can do next time.
That's right, and I've never had a New York experience with Sean before, so I'm sure that would really elevate my life.
Yes.
And there's a lot of new things post-COVID, like that I went recently to that are like really fun. It's in there, and because I thought that most things would just shut down and be indefinitely shut down, but some things were relocated, and a lot of things were like new. There's new venues. So,
do you guys want to watch me take a COVID test?
Yes. Is it the one at home?
A COVID test live.
No, I've been testing positive for COVID. I have COVID. But the last time I took a test, it was just like one little tiny, like there's two lines that come up, and the last line was so faint you could barely see it.
You're just a little bit pregnant.
Just got a little bit of the COVID, but
I'm slightly pregnant. We can still fuck.
And so yeah, so like how do you feel in terms of like since you've moved back to Roanoke from New York? You mentioned, you know, you want to keep up with your friends a little bit more. I know like from personal experience, like you just kind of, unfortunately, it just kind of happens sometimes where you just sort of grow apart.
True.
Like in Richmond, I lived there for 8 years. I have a few friends that I still contact, but like it's crazy. Like ever since I've been in Maryland, I'm just like, wow, like I really like don't have that many pals. Like Liv is really one of the only people that out of like maybe like 3 or 4 people that I hang out with on a regular basis that I feel like is actually like my friend. Whereas, you know, I hang out with my partner Zach and his friends a lot of times, and they're great, but you know, like at the end of the day, like that's his friends first, you know? So
it's a different kind of it hits different when it's people of your partner or friend group. Well, I feel as though there's many factors involved. I mean, I'm, you know, getting a little older, and I feel like that is a time when people are starting to actually kind of fall back in general. There's not much of a social, there's not the same level of social scene. And like, this is like, despite like pandemic, like this is just like, as you get older, like you kind of choose your friends more, I don't want to say wise. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully wisely, but it's also the fact that people kind of get set in their ways, you know, like I'm a person who like, you know, if I'm in New York, like I might go to Queens, I might go to the Bronx. Like I'm a very adventurous person. A lot of people like their 3 bars, and they're gonna go to those 3 bars, and they're gonna do this. So if you don't actively see them or interact with them, it's gonna be a natural progression of kind of drifting apart, I think. And then, you know, it's something I've noticed, and it's been something, and that's why I brought it up earlier, is that I think it's something that I've noticed quite a bit in my personal life. Like people just, you know, to reconnect it used to be easier, I think, like in your like early 20s and mid 20s. But like as you get older, like as you have to really make a conscious effort. You have to really be like, hey, like I'm gonna contact you. I'm gonna like, you know, follow and like, you know, interact with you. It's kind of something that you have to really make an effort to do. And it's been hard. Like honestly, I've been like kind of pissed. I'm like, what did I do? Like I'm like offended. I'm like, bitch, what? Like, you know, we were friends. But then I also just like, I don't know. I mean, I try not to take things too personal, unless it is personal, because bitch, I'll rock if it's personal. Let's go.
Right.
What, you know, like what did I do? What happened? Or maybe I understand, or maybe we just like don't vibe. Like, I mean, sometimes I understand the situation, but then other times I think it's a little bit, it's a natural progression. But it's something that I've just noticed in this phase of my life that like I'm just really like, you know, like I connect with you, I talk with you so much, and then other people that I used to talk to like all of the time, I don't know what the fuck they up to. Like, you know, and like, you know how like social media has algorithms. I'm like, does she have a baby? Did she move to Florida? Who knows? Is she an alien? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's really relatable.
No.
I mean, and like, I don't know if you're in this boat or not, but like, I feel like I mean, this sounds like rude when I say it, but like, I feel like I've outgrown a lot of people. Like,
Oh, that's not rude. I don't think that's rude.
I get it.
because then I feel like I like look back at like people that I used to hang out with all the time, and I just feel like we're in such like wildly different places in our lives, and I'm just like, if I would keep like maintaining that relationship or keep like trying to dim down, you know, myself for them, like I would never keep growing, you know?
That's a great point. And also, like, I mean, I know like both of you are like very professionally minded people, and like a lot of people, and especially, I mean, coming from like Richmond, I mean, honestly, a lot of people are like, I'm satisfied to be like just doing not shit. And you know what I mean? Both of you are like really like doing well. And you know, I'm somebody who like, you know, like I feel like something like if you're trying to be upwardly mobile, a lot of people fall off on the wayside because they're just kind of like, yeah, like they're just like, I'm just gonna like stay at my friend's house and then like try to like work at a bar once or twice a week. And it's just like, I don't know, like there's certain energy. Well, it's also energetic, like certain energy like makes you more inclined to relate to other people, where like you naturally, like if you're vibrating on a certain level, you know, and there's people who are probably like, I fell off from them, you know what I mean, because I'm whatever.
Right.
Or so it's just you know, I think that it's a mixture of natural. But here's one thing that gets me though. I do think that sometimes people can try to use that as an excuse to just be rude, or like to be kind of like weirdly like, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but sometimes people can be kind of like, oh, like we don't talk anymore. But it's like, well, there's no reason for that. Like there's actually
Yeah,
no,
like we didn't have an
Right.
actual falling out. We just, you haven't talked to me and I haven't talked to you.
Right.
right. It
Like,
doesn't have to be like hostile or even necessarily like a negative thing, but I don't know. I just like to keep it real, and I'm like, you know, like it is what it is, and you know. But you know what I've realized as I've gotten older, a lot of people will come that boomerang right back. A lot of people when their marriage fails, or they realize that their career sucks, or they realize that, you know, they moved to the wrong city in Texas, like they're gonna, you know, like they want to come back and they want to be like, oh, like wow, Sean made me feel good. Like I miss laughing. I miss fucking watching fucking Bravo with him and shit. So people really like, a lot of people try really hard to be like something that they're not, and when it fails, they're like, what was my go-to? Oh, okay. It's a weird place. Like I feel like your whole like 20s 30s is that kind of finding yourself. I mean, it sounds like I'm like in a damn like Natalie Portman movie right now, but like, you know, but but I mean, it's accurate, you know. So it's cool. I think that like also you learn more about yourself, and I think that especially this like quarantine pandemic, like we've learned to be more self-preserved and self-sufficient.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Did you take that test, babe?
I was
Are you
gonna
doing
say,
well?
I'm working on
Max,
it.
do you have Rona?
She's putting it up in her nose right now.
Oh, she's in the process of taking it.
How deep does it have to go? I heard it has to go really deep.
I
Well,
heard it
mean,
has to
I
touch your
know.
brain.
No. Ow.
you pull out like some like brain matter. Gray matter comes out. So wait, how did you get I'm watching movies and I saw them.
Oh no.
Bless you, darling.
Thank you.
I was gonna get one, but I just didn't. But how did you get your did you order like online or?
So yeah, what happened was Zach's dad, who we were hanging out with like pretty much all Christmas.
You told me.
Yeah, he ended up testing positive, and we couldn't really find any tests. We ended up finding a test and I tested negative on that particular test, but I'm pretty sure I was positive at that point.
That's
And so
weird.
after that, I was a little bit tipsy and I was really paranoid. So I ended up just like ordering a shit ton of tests off of Amazon.
Oh, they're on Amazon.
There's a little bit of a wait, but yeah, if you're smart about it and do it a little bit in advance, then
because I just want some, just because who knows how long we're gonna ride this out. Just like all my toxic relationships. But yeah, I'm gonna try to order some in advance. And like I saw one, but it was like there was like one, I don't know, it was like at a weird pharmacy, and I was like, is this the last one? Like I don't.
I'll send you a link to the. I'll send you a link to the one that like I like. This
what
is a
symptoms
different
are you
one.
Feeling?
I mean, honestly, like now I'm not feeling anything. I was sick. Like the sickest I was like maybe like right before I took that test, and I had really bad like congestion in my nose, so like it was kind of gross. Like it was to the point where like you go to bed, and here this little thing is, and like if you can't breathe out of your nose like that, then you're breathing out of your mouth, so you wake up and like have this gross feeling.
Oh,
so that's what
it
originally
really dries out your throat too.
Right. So that was like the worst of it. And then by the time I took the test, I was literally FaceTiming one of my coworkers, and I was like, "Watch me take this COVID test, like I'm doing right now." And
now the world.
I was just so sure that I was gonna show up negative, and it surely fucking didn't.
Well, because I remember last time that we were talking, you said that you were negative. So, but I mean, it's just, here's the thing. My friend actually did, and this is not just one person I've talked to. They'll be negative and then or they'll be positive and it's a false positive. Or maybe it's like negative and the positive, I don't know. Or maybe the rate, like maybe one day it like gets out of your system. Maybe it's the end of the cycle. There's lots of factors in the air that I'm like very curious about,
I mean, like I'm looking at this test that's going to take 15 minutes to give me a confirmation result, but like when I was really positive, like when I tested the first time, there's like 2 lines that show up, and they showed up like immediately, like within the first couple minutes of like it being on the test.
They're like, you definitely got Rona.
They're like,
but
like pots and pans and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we'll see what this one does. We'll give it some time to make up its mind. I think I'm negative, fingers crossed. So in terms of like growing apart from friends, which is really easy to happen, I also wanted to kind of mention the concept of sort of inheriting friends, which I sort of talked about a little bit before, but I feel like for me personally, just because I've been, I was single for so long, and then it was like I had a, consistent relationship with someone, and it just wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not saying like I jumped into a relationship right after, but it wasn't a lot of time that it took for me to
it was rather
find
soon,
someone else. Yeah. But I feel like when you date someone, you kind of inherit their friend group. And it can be good and it can be bad, because like with my ex, like I met all of his friends, I spent a lot of time with all of them. And then it's like when we broke up, it's like, oh, well, I can't really like hit these people up anymore.
I hate that feeling, Max. I hate that feeling.
Yeah, and like some of them are like really, really cool people that like.
And it's not that you're trying to step on his toes. Yeah, you just want to have friends, like people to hang out with.
Well, yeah, because it's like you're not even just losing like a boyfriend; you're like losing everybody.
Yeah, the whole social circle, especially when you move to a new state.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that you were in an area
like. Yeah,
like you it wouldn't have been the same thing if you were in an area where you already had established your friendships. You had moved together, so that's a different dynamic.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, like I think there's definitely some pros and cons. Like I, for the most part, really like Zach's friends.
Good.
But yeah, it's like
why'd you say it like that?
Well, I mean, there's some I don't care for.
Oh, okay.
To be completely honest, but
for the most part.
For the most part.
No, but I mean that's honest, and I mean it's unexpected that you're gonna love every one of your partner's friends and family like to death. Like it's very honest to be like, you don't have to be hostile, you don't have to be like cause conflict, but you can be like, this is not the person that I'm gonna be like calling over for like our little backgammon. You know what I mean? Like we're good.
Right.
Like I'll be civil, but like I don't need you to like. We're not gonna watch 90 Day Fiance together, okay?
Right. And I think it's also intimidating when you come into that situation when like your significant other has been living somewhere for so long and like you're like the new person.
They like own the area.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. But honestly
weird.
though, you really actually I was watching one of you guys' earlier podcast, and like you were, I think Max, you were kind of like downplaying your, because Livy said that like he makes friends so easily. And like I agree. Like I think Max, you like have like you have a wild charisma.
Yes,
Like,
literally
thank
everyone who has
you.
met you, Max, they're like, I love Max.
Same.
Really?
No, like
Yes.
literally my friends, I mean, I don't think he like, I mean, I don't know if I ever told you this, but like we went to this brunch. You remember Kitchen 64?
Yes.
Okay, so I took him to my friend's restaurant, and I mean, he'd probably been there before. It's like a staple in Richmond, but she like hooked us up with everything, and like all my friends, like they thought we were dating, first of all, because they're like, wow, you guys are just like so funny together. I'm like, no, bitch, we're just friends. But like they all were just so charmed, and like literally. So I mean, I feel like if this, and I understand the situation you're talking about. I actually know it very well. But I just think that like, at least, bitch, you have that in your pocket. You can be like, well, I'm funny and smart. And cute, bitch.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
And cute, bitch.
ain't nobody want no ugly bitch being funny and smart, okay? No,
It's
but
a struggle.
well, here's the thing. I think that when you inherit friends, you have to kind of be careful. Like I've gotten in trouble, and I don't know if the person was very insecure, because I'm not. I'm pretty self-aware. Like I feel like I know when I'm like trying to like snatch up people. Like I don't want to do that, because even if I find a connection with someone that I'm friends of a friend with, I don't want like that. I know that that's awkward. Like I would like, we might text and like kiki and stuff like that, but like I would maybe delay that, because I wouldn't want it to be a situation where like I'm swooping in and like taking someone's friends, you know, like because
Right.
that does happen, you know.
And especially like I feel like as a gay couple in a group of straight friends,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because it's like I vibe with most of his friends' girlfriends. And I like his friends too, but we just don't have that much in common, you know? So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
You land where you you know, like you hit where you're where you fit.
Yeah. And then I know we were talking a little bit about catfishing earlier, and I kind of want to talk about what I think is the yin to catfishing's yang, which is ghosting.
Yes.
So let's talk about ghosting. I want to hear both of your opinions on it.
I'm very guilty of it.
Okay, I want to hear your opinion, because I just got ghosted today.
Oh
no. Was it you?
Damn it.
No. But I'm totally open, because here's the thing. If you're somebody who is like somebody, and you're not like you're not like a Quasimodo, and you're not, you know, like, let's keep it real. Like, you know, certain people are going to be like ghosted a lot, and some people are going to ghost a lot. Like, you know, I feel like there's a spectrum. Like if you're someone, you know, like if you have a bad, shitty personality, and you're like bad at dating, like some people, I understand why they're ghosted. There are certain people who I feel like are the ones who do it. I don't know. I think there's a spectrum. So I would love to hear what are the circumstances that have brought you to ghost someone? Because I mean, we've all done it. I'm just curious about yours.
I will say there's different circumstances. Like I don't ghost people that like I have like guys that like I've been on and off with for like years. Like I would never just like not text them back if like they were trying to get a hold of me, or like
That's nice.
Yeah, or like I don't know, if there was someone I was like actively dating, I would never just like fall off the radar. But like people that like maybe I don't know, we hooked up, or like
yeah
I don't know, we've been texting a little bit, or we went on a few dates,
like a casual,
right, and the vibe is we're just not vibing, you know.
No, that makes total sense to me. Because
I would assume that they would pick up on that vibe being off, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they should. I mean, if they're like aware, you know, if they're not like, you know, total dum-dums, like, no, that makes sense. And like I've done that. That's what I'm saying. We've all done that. Like Max and I, we've talked about that before. But like I'll be like dead ass in situations where like I'm pretty sure I'm talking to someone and they're talking to someone else, and then they just, instead of being like, hey, this is a situation. Oh. And then I recently reached out to this guy who I was talking to for like years, who was like on paper, like dream boy. Well, okay. 70%.
Okay.
78, 5, 6%.
Check most of the
And
boxes.
most of the boxes, you know what I mean? But you know, he
Three out of
would
four.
like, you know, like weird, like good morning. Like if you give me good morning text for like 3 months straight, like I'm gonna start feeling some type of way.
Right.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like why? Like, I
Okay,
mean,
see, in that situation, that's fucking weird if he just like stops responding. I'd be like, hello, did you die?
no. And so here's the thing: I'm a crazy FBI agent, bitch.
Right.
So I found all of his shit. He has a link tree, and I fucking downloaded all that shit. And I was like, let me find your. He has a candle company. Blew that shit up. He has. He has. he has a fucking.
Calling customer service. Hello.
Like he has a. He has
you,
a
you finna light these candles.
Oh,
I'm gonna set this bitch the fuck off.
I bought these candles in your house, my burn, baby. No, but here's the thing. So he literally so he has sweetest boy, like beautiful, like beautiful, and he's like I don't know, like like Dominican, Puerto Rican, but like sweet, low key, like I just like to work out in my basement and like read poetry. I'm like ding ding ding, and so you know we were
Happy
talking
used to
for
be a deacon.
right.
Now
He'd be
sucking
sucking
him
me
off
off
on
on the weekend. It's a little Kim reference, Kimberly Jones. But anyway, so he he kind of would ghost me before, and then last Christmas Eve I blew up on him because I found out he was dating this dude in California, and I'm like, I'm in New York where you are, so like why would you just doubt me for like, I don't know, it was weird. But then he always would come back. He always would come back and be like, you know, like, hey, like, you know, just really sweet. But then like he would, you know, I was teaching for a long time, and he wanted to get back into teaching as well. And I'm like, this is fate, bitch. I'm like, okay, like, are we in the same industry too? And you look like this? Okay, we're gonna marry. And then he like asked me for like lesson plans, and I'm like, well, mine are specifically tailored to art, you know.
Right.
So I don't know if that's gonna be applicable for you, but you know, he's like, okay. And then yeah, then goes. And then, but it was weird. And then like I found him on. I had to look up his TikTok. I had to look up like LinkedIn.
As one does.
Bitch, no, and because I literally am like, I am a CIA. Like if you fuck me over, like I will find your aunt and I will ask your aunt what's up.
I had all the
Like,
receipts and deleted tweets.
like, all of them. Like I had to scroll. Like so no, I found his shit, and then last time, but I wasn't being aggressive or anything. And I was just like, hey man, like long time no talk. Like what's good? Like where? And he and you know how you're blocked on Facebook Messenger when it says this person can't be messaged.
Right.
Or
So
when
then
your
I'm like,
blue messages start turning green.
Right, when the color changes, I'm like, is this a Christmas light or
Blocked on Facebook Messenger?
Right. So here's it. So I would, but nothing negative happened. That's the thing, is like it was just completely. And he was the one who was like, because I was teaching, and I was working for this really scary charter school where like they made you work 24 hours. Like I had to literally ask if I could do my own thing on Sundays. Bitch, what? It was
That's
crazy.
ridiculous.
It was horrible.
That's crazy.
It was horrible. And so then he would be like, why can't you spend the night with me? He's like, you can just go home early. I'm like, baby, like I'm gonna get fired if I step in at 7:01. So like, no, I'm not gonna spend the night with you in another county. And you know, but like, you know, so I felt like he'd, you know, maybe didn't like, and a lot of guys, I mean, I'm sure you can relate, but especially with gays, like if you don't jump at the bait, then they're like over you. But he still kept in touch. But wow, that was the most, like he really just like ghosted me, and it was crazy because all I was trying to do was actually know what was going on with him. Even if he is like completely over me, like we had a friendship. I wasn't just trying to be like combative or anything. And wow, I was like, damn. And here's the thing, I even looked up his little he like loves TikTok. I can't find it anymore. I'm like, you blocked me on
Blocked
TikTok.
you on there too.
God damn it.
He thought of everything.
Yeah. So that's just weird.
I feel like, unfortunately, I probably.
I was gonna say, I know damn well you probably ghosted people.
Yeah,
no, and I'm saying we all have, and I know Max and I have literally talked about this before. But like you said, Liv, like I really like the fact that you mentioned like there are circumstances where it warrants it, where like you don't want, you know, it's going nowhere. You know, you've talked to this person and maybe you've hooked up or whatever, but it's not going anywhere. Like that to me is like normal. Like, like I'm not gonna talk to you, but like if you have an established thing with someone, like to me, like bitch, I'm grown. Like let's talk. But I feel like it's easier, and a lot of people are not just emotionally mature or aware. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's also like I've had guys literally act like crazy if like I say, hey, like this isn't working. Like I've had guys literally get like angry. I don't know.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
I was gonna say,
Well,
are like
my
gay
female-
guys like that? Or I don't know. Cause like I've had guys
I'm
like
sure
snap.
some are.
I've heard of that from my female friends.
Yes,
I
like
have.
they'll start getting like nasty. They're like, you're like, you were a fucking bitch anyway. Like
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff. Like, and I've even had like friends like where guys like stalk outside their house and be crazy. So I'm like, you know what?
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
I
gonna
know.
like,
Well,
That's scary.
do
Yeah.
you guys want to hear my my worst ghosting story, in my opinion,
Bitch, of course.
that I inflicted on someone else?
oh no.
Oh my God, you are savage.
Going
So let's
straight to
hear it.
hell. Okay, so like I was in Roanoke, living in Richmond, but I was in Roanoke and I was on the apps, on Tinder,
City.
Grindr, one of those, and some guy started talking to me, and we didn't end up really like talking until I got back to Richmond. This sweet boy came up from Roanoke to Richmond on the Greyhound, cleaned my entire apartment, like from like top to bottom, like literally like the cleanest my apartment has ever been. And I
Wait,
just
why did he
blocked him
do
on
this?
everything.
Just because?
Yeah, he just felt like it. I
Okay,
was
well,
like,
that's
yeah,
weird.
Obviously, like, felt so. But here's the thing, though. Did you know he was on his way?
I think I knew he was on his way. I didn't know he was gonna do all of these chores in my apartment.
Yeah, that's.
But then when he went back to Roanoke, I was like, okay, block.
There's
Damn
no
it.
reason not to. No, because that to
But
me
that's
is like I'm gonna
weird.
boil a bunny in your fucking like. That to me is like some like a single white female shit. Okay, like
he
don't
was
don't.
sweet.
Yeah.
He was
Sweet, but sweet can turn
he was
sour. quick.
Peruvian, and
Yeah.
he like didn't like English was his second language.
Oh no, okay, I'm thinking of someone, but it's not him. Okay.
No, this is definitely not this little fella.
I
but,
don't know.
you
When people start overstepping their boundaries too early, I get really creeped out.
and you should live because honestly, like that, people, I think they think that that's sweet, but when we're in reality, it's like possessive, and it's like I did this for you. Why don't you love me? It's like
Right.
like
It's
that's
like,
a little
"Ugh."
much. Yeah, no. And I mean, honestly, like a lot of this shit pertains. Like I love having like a straight girl's perspective because like y'all deal with the craziest fucking shit. Like guys literally like think, I don't know. I just feel like straight men treat women as like possessions. And so like I just can imagine the shit that like, you know, you've dealt with.
Yeah, I told Max, straight men have just like fully turned me all the way off. Like I'm just
Yes! No, I actually that's what I was watching right before.
yeah, I just like I'm not even like interested anymore in dating.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's sad because like they're missing out on an awesome person, but at the same time, if they don't
Like,
deserve it, then they don't deserve it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I
Oh my
think
God,
you'll
by the way,
find a
Max,
fella.
after we posted that episode, some guy asked me on a date and I totally didn't reply.
Oh, damn it.
So, I mean, can we all agree that there are instances where ghosting is appropriate, but there are some instances where ghosting is like act shitty?
We can admit
Yeah.
that, but I'm also going to admit the fact that I've been shady as fuck ghosting people before, and I've
Girl,
had good
this
reason
is not
before.
my first time meeting you, honey. I know the shade queen
I'm
over
just
here.
speaking on it.
I'm no angel,
Kurt.
okay?
Yeah, no, none of us are angels, bitch. Are you seriously? Like, I literally will like flirt. Okay, I'm not. I shouldn't say this.
I will flirt with a
Let's
fucking
see how
tree
it-
stump. Like, I will flirt with
two-
anything.
Two of this dude's brothers have hit me up on Grindr. He doesn't know about it. Maybe he will now, but like, I'm just like, I could ruin your life. Just let you
Wait,
know.
Do
okay,
it.
so a guy that you're talking to, two of his brothers. Oh no.
Like fraternity brothers or like biological brothers?
Vagina brothers.
Oh,
no.
I love that.
And I did do, and I, you know, we had a nice conversation. You know, I was like, thanks, he invited me out. I was like, no, well, I'll get murdered. But no. So yeah, that's a whole vibe.
Okay, so what about so I have another little thing jotted down about right now the feelings towards friends with benefits and attitudes towards sex work,
True.
as
true.
well as having a type, but especially the first two. How do you feel about the whole friends with benefit thing, Sean?
Well,
And
I
Liv.
I'm specifically someone who is like always a come dump never a bride. No, I'm just playing. I just like for some reason, like I mean, I guess I have a very friendly, like guys want to feel comfortable with me, and they do, but they still want to like bang it out and like have me whenever they want me and experiment with me. And I attract a lot of dudes who are like on this like buy tip. So it's weird. It's like a lot of like, I want you around as a friend, but like we're just friends. Like
But they make those lines so blurry.
They make those lines so blurry. But I thought that moving to New York would change those lines because I thought that like, it's a gay haven. But no, gay guys are the same. Like they're like, no, we're just friends, but like also like you came inside me 8 times this year. So I don't know. I'm like, where is the line? I think that it can be healthy. I think it can be healthy. I'm a very sexual person, but I'm also like, a lot of people who are very sexual have a low emotional intelligence, whereas I think I'm like, I know like how people feel. I think it's like kind of cliche, but like I'm an empath. Like I know what's
We're
going
Pisces,
on.
hey.
And that's exactly a Pisces trait. So I think that friends with benefits can be fine, but I also think that a lot of people want to put you in that box because it's like easy for them. You know what I mean? And so I mean, I feel like friends with benefits is like it's more of a generational thing. Like it's more with our generation than it was like, our siblings and parents and stuff. I mean, there always was like fuck buddies, but I think that's now more casual. And I'm glad you brought up the other aspects, because now with things like OnlyFans, it's like, hey, your friend's hot, you fuck them, cool, we'll make a video and we'll make money, and it's mutual,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like I always act like I can do friends with benefits, but like I really can't. That's just like not me.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel the same way. All my like friends with benefits situations end up being like really messy, and then we end up not being friends or anyone that's gonna have benefits
you lose both.
with anything.
Yeah.
So like, just trying to think of like some times it's happened before.
I have a very specific guy in mind,
but it's just like, it's just, I don't know. I can't do it. Like in my mind, I've had to, and I think this is also something that's a little bit unique to like gay culture and stuff like that, because there's a lot of like, especially if you're like living in a similar area, there's a a lot of what do you want to call it, like
overlap,
intersectionality, yes.
Okay,
it's a great word.
Okay, Professor Landon.
Thank you. But
teach me something.
I just think for me personally, like, and this is not like a reflection on like everyone at all, but like I compartmentalize things. So
you do.
Even when I've said that like I can be a friend with benefit before, it's been like in my head, I'm like, no, I actually want to be in a relationship with this person.
True.
So like for me, I don't know. It never works out. I'm not saying it. Yeah.
I feel like it comes down to like a little bit of self-denial, and also a little bit of trying, like sometimes we like try to like be like, I can handle this, right. I can do this. Oh, it's totally cool. It's like, you're dating someone who is maybe a sex worker, or you're dating someone who like maybe is, or like a lot of times in these open relationships, the one partner wants to be open and the other person just goes with it because they don't want to lose the partner. But however, they're like not really cool with it. So sometimes it's I mean, I think, and also, I mean, it is a very also Pisces trait to compartmentalize these issues.
Right. Well, and I mean, I feel like in open relationship situations, like I've been the third person before, like, and that was honestly like really fine and fun at the time. But I don't think I could do that with my own relationship. Like, it's one thing to like have a threesome or like, like do something just like kind of like
a one
out
and
of left field. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think I would ever be comfortable with like bringing another person into a relationship, like in that like polyamory like sense. Like I'm just too jealous and hateful. Like I can't do it.
You're like, I'm gonna put a hex on you, sis.
I'm just like,
I got a candle with your name on it.
Possessive's not the right word, but like, okay, so I'm a Leo, so I'm very like,
love Leos.
What's mine is mine. Okay, I don't like to share.
Strong.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of just like how I am.
Well, I can see that, and also in Leos, what I've noticed is that like I was involved with a Leo who was, like I said, agreeing to be and a little bit of a open thing, but like would rather not. And then like because like he's like, well then I'll take Sean. It was like if you have someone, I'll have someone. It was almost like a weird like dynamic
Competition.
of because I mean, you know, you guys have a lot of strong like kind of like comforting energy. Like you guys want to be like involved, deeply involved, I would say, as a Leo, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I can see that. And you know, some other, you know, it's some other people are just very like more slowly. But you know what I really like is I like the fact that like the gist of this that I'm getting is that we, you know, we all like value like traditional like love and like traditional things that are like based on like actual connection, because I think that gets very lost in this generation where like everyone's fucking everyone and like, which
Yeah.
is cool. I mean, you know, I'm
As
listening to a
slutty as
person
we
like,
are, we just want someone to make us feel good.
Well, and that's
and you
an
know what?
interesting
Yeah.
conversation about like OnlyFans because
Mhm.
I had like a situation where, and I'm very pro, like, I mean, I don't do OnlyFans, but like I have friends who do it and I love that for them.
Yeah, I would if I could. I just don't think I could. You know?
Literally, like I probably couldn't do it with my job.
Yeah,
But
exactly. The guy that's gonna fuck me up eventually.
literally. But so there was this guy I was like, I guess we were pretty much like dating. We were exclusive. And he started like, I guess like one of my friends had like an OnlyFans like account, like a Instagram account or whatever. And he was on there like liking all of her OnlyFans stuff. And I was like, I'm not comfortable with that.
No.
But then like, then I guess you have like the conversation of like, okay, well, like if you're supporting of it, then like, can you say like, you don't like someone else liking their stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. It just got like really messy.
That is a
Yeah.
great, Liv, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that you're totally within your right to say that like you can be supportive of a concept, but not supportive of an actual
Content creator.
an individual like thing. You know, if you're with someone and you said that you guys were basically exclusive, correct?
Yeah.
So that means that like, you know, you wouldn't, I mean, but even if it wasn't OnlyFans, if it was just Instagram or if it was just like in person, like, you know.
Well, and I was just like, and it's someone like we know, and I'm like, it just made me
to
really
that's creepy.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Because
Actually,
honestly, guys would, and I know guys, they would probably slip in her DMs.
Well, and that's what I told him. I was like, do you really expect me to think that you're like sitting here appreciating the form of her body, or like okay, like
you're just
like she's a
rubbing one out,
gorgeous
let's be
woman.
honest.
I want her to be financially independent.
I want to paint her like a French woman.
right. Well, because he was trying to play it like, oh no, I'm just like, you know, supporting her. I'm like, I love that, but like I don't think that's what you were thinking.
Well, I mean, obviously you're a smart girl and you know not to believe the bullshit.
Right.
I was reading an article today actually about OnlyFans, and they made some like kind of like good like pros and cons where it's like, okay, so like I think the situation was like this guy who was in a relationship was subscribing to this other girl's OnlyFans who they like mutually knew. Which does kind of feel like cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, like if you flip it around, it's like, okay, well, like what about like watching porn? And like
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's almost like the
and
same
like
thing.
It's like at least like, you know,
there's a
for the
paywall
benefit
involved,
of OnlyFans, but with OnlyFans, like you're actually giving your money to the actual content creator,
which is great. And
whereas
I
porn,
do think it's great. Yeah.
And I'm not saying like either way or another is like better or worse. I'm just trying to find like there is that kind of tricky sort of
situation
where it's like, yeah, where it's like, I get it. Like, yeah, you're actually like, if you're gonna be like, you know, jerking off to someone, you might as well pay them for it, you know, like, and that'll help them out. But like at the same time, it seems more personal.
It seems exactly, and the personability of it seems a little bit different to me, because I have always felt that I would never feel jealous of someone being into like porn if I'm in a relationship with them. But then I grew up and then I moved to New York and then I am who I am, and I'm like, wow, I know, and I've like fucked like 10 plus porn stars. Like I'm in the game, you know what I mean? So it's like, damn, like I know this shit. And it's weird because I'm like, you know, the aspect of actually paying creators for their content, totally for that. But if you're my partner, I feel like it's a little bit more intimate because you're paying the motherfucker.
Yeah, you're
You're
paying
not-
us that we
You know,
know. Yeah.
this ain't no X tube where you can just do like,
Yeah.
oh, like, you know, blonde on hippopotamus.com. You're like, you know what I mean? It's like you're actually like, you know, this is someone. So that seems a little bit more intimate. And here's the thing: do you guys agree that the level of cheating hurts more because of the intimacy? What do you think?
I do. Like, I would personally be a lot more offended if my partner were to, you know, give X amount of dollars to someone that's on OnlyFans. And I probably wouldn't feel any type of way if they were just jerking off on, you know, a porn
Same.
website, you
That's
know,
what
Yeah,
like,
I can
That's what I
honestly
think.
say I was really hurt because it was a friend that I'm really close with, and when I saw it, I was like, "What the hell?" You know,
Yeah.
like
yeah, it just
I can see
goes
what,
to
and I
weird
don't think you're
places.
unreasonable for like thinking that, like honestly.
well, because
That-
I would in my mind, I'm like, if I ever left you two in a room alone together, I would never trust you to not make a move on
Never.
her.
That's
you
a
know?
very good point, right?
Never.
You've already
Never.
jerked off to her fucking video and paid her money, so
So
like,
that's like already like that's like
Okay.
what like that's like fourth step. Like, you know, how many steps can you get? You know, like, or I mean like base, you know what I mean? Like it's like the new steps of like first, second base. Like you've already paid her, you've already came to her. Well, come on. But I don't know. I just
mean,
feel
I
like you know, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this, and I also think that it's funny. What to me is culturally relevant is the fact that they were going to shut down the sexual content, which to me, in my mind, like I always know, I have a sixth sense of when things are not real. Like even in New York, they'll say like a certain train will shut down, and like it doesn't. And I'm like, well, I'm still riding this train right now, currently. Like I'm taking selfies on this train. But like with OnlyFans, it's almost as if they're like, we're gonna not have sexual content anymore after like October 1st. And then they're like, no, sorry, no.
just kidding. We still
Right.
want money.
Like
Yeah,
because
they
at
make
the
way
same
too much
time-
money with it.
And here's the thing though, like what would be left? Like I'm gonna watch like Martha Stewart cooking and I'm gonna pay for that? Or I'm gonna watch like Luann Lesseps like sing and pay for that? Like, no, we want to watch people coming.
She better be smoking a cigarette out of her coochie if I'm gonna
She
pay
better
for
be like-
anything Luann just said.
Right, you know? So I feel like it's a slippery slope, and I feel like a lot of people are adapting to it. Have you, Max or Liv? Are you also house? Are you into the housewifery?
I am, but like I'm not totally up to date. So
Okay. Well,
Liv really likes Jersey.
Jersey is mine.
oh, girl, it's
yeah.
coming back
She's a
soon.
Jersey
Yes.
girl.
February
Yeah.
1st, honey.
And
But
I got
here's
to
the
meet
thing.
Jackie.
She did meet Jackie
I met
God
Jackie.
damn it. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
at a goddamn
well-
Sephora.
I sure
Oh
did.
my
I
God.
helped her pick out a lip gloss. We're besties
Oh,
now.
she-
for her
Did
new
she buy
lips,
anything
you
from
know her
you?
new-
Did she what?
Did she buy anything from the
For my
brand
brand?
you're
No.
representing that day?
No,
No.
she certainly did not. I just helped her.
Damn it,
because-
Jackie.
I know.
I
Oh,
thought I
wait,
loved you, Jackie.
I could spill some tea, but
Next time,
well,
have me back.
Offline.
we'll wait because
Offline, just like how I need to know Sean's catfish situation offline.
Oh yeah,
We're
well,
definitely gonna chat about that.
yeah. No, but okay, but no, my point was that like I'm glad that people are having these conversations because it used to be in the dark, it used to be taboo, it used to be other, and now, and especially like one positive thing, which is like sad to talk about a positive thing from this like fucking horrible situation, but a lot of people have turned to sex work who used to turn their nose down on it, and they used to be like, I would never do that. And now they're like selling farts in jars. So I'm like, okay, girl.
So
I saw
like,
that.
you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, finally, bitch, you realize, you know, like you're like rich Connecticut ass. Like, you know, your dad's a dentist, but now you're, you know, you're selling your toenail clippings and shit. So, you know, sex work has been a little bit like escalated. But at the same time, you know, like when it comes to like, I think that people need to be as honest as they are freaky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be this or that, but then want to have a relationship that is open, then you need to
You
like,
gotta be honest about it.
you got to be honest about it, you know? And I know personally, I mean, like, you know, living in New York, it's like, I mean, to be in New York, like you almost like have to be a hooker. It's like, literally, it's like, it's so expensive. Like,
I would be such a goddamn slut if I was single in New York.
are you kidding me? I just had
drinking.
two dudes be like, they're like, hey, like, I'll pay you like all this for like come over and like let me like suck on your toes. I'm like, bro, like you're 5 boroughs away. I would, but I'm like, I got plans. I got
only-
plans tonight.
I've only been paid by one person before for SW, but I just jerked off in front of them.
Girl,
they
that's
gave me
just that's a
$200.
Tuesday night, and that's a
That's
good
$200
200,
right
right?
there, right?
Bye. No, but I understand, and I just feel like honestly though, like what I think is most interesting is it complicates relationships. You know, like I thought that I was someone who was really like cool and open to shit, but if my partner was like professionally, I don't know, it's just weird. Like I would be like,
It's like, what aren't
I
you
feel like-
getting out of this that you have to go to that? You know,
Yeah,
like
Right.
Yeah, no, I totally see that, but it's also a measure of insight. You know, you're like you know yourself, you know your partner, so hopefully it'll work. But you know,
well, on a positive note, the gal does not have COVID
Yay!
anymore. She's COVID free.
He's Rona free.
Woo!
I like how you said positive note, but negative.
Nope. But negative.
No, but I'm really happy to hear that because honestly, this shit has been crazy and really like.
So yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Sean, for joining into our podcast tonight. I feel like we've covered just about everything we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
I really appreciate it, and I
Yeah,
love.
this was so fun.
I really
it was
enjoyed meeting you, Liv, and also like we need to definitely hang out in New York when it's like safe. and,
Period.
like maybe like spring or whatever when it's like nice and warm because no, like Liv,
Or you
you
can
know the
just
good
come up to
spots.
Baltimore.
Oh no, also I want to go to Baltimore too because I'm in.
Let's
I'm
go to
in
Baltimore. We
Virginia.
can all
Yes,
go
you
out.
got to come to Baltimore.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
First of all, let's know. I want to coordinate that. That's gonna be so fun.
Anytime.
I
Anytime
have
you want to.
no like
Now you've got the Amtrak from Roanoke that goes to Baltimore, so you can come
Okay.
whenever. I'll come pick you up.
AKA
We can all go out.
Yes, we can go to Power Plant. We can get you on the Bullet
Yes.
PBR.
Yes. No, I'm really.
I was on that damn bowl one time.
Oh my god.
I was like, I was dating my ex, and like everyone was like, "Where are you?" Because I just like wasn't answering my text messages, and I was just like stumbling through Power Plant, and I ended up at the country part of Power Plant, and I was just like, "I'm on the bull, bitch," and they came and found me. I'm just like,
I love anytime Max's eyes are like this, like I know it's good.
Oh, googly-eyed.
Yeah, right.
wide Wendy's.
Aw. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. And I'm going to send Max the videos of us in that limo. They need to be spliced in because this shit is popping.
They do, yeah, they deserve that.
Thank you so
so
much,
before
guys.
we
I really
hop off-
feel very, very blessed. This is nice.
Yes, no, we're blessed to have you. You've been a great guest. Sean, plug yourself. Where should the gals follow you on Instagram, Snapchat,
All my
Twitter,
shit
where
is
the
the
fuck ever?
same. It's a lot of letters and things, but all my things are Tropical Redbone, but I had to change it up because these hoes be okay. So tropical, I'll underscore. Then the little, what is it shit called? The little underletter thing.
Mm-hmm.
Redbone, and then another one. No, red REDB, and then a 0 ONE, and then another little underscore.
Okay. We'll plug it. We'll put it on the in the
And now that I'm not
description.
teaching anymore, I can be more of a host. So it'll be
them
even better
kids.
content. AKA
Hell yeah.
them kids.
Fuck them kids. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. Thank you so much, Sean, for visiting us and chatting with us. I can't speak for the two of us, but I would love to have you back on in the future.
Yes, no,
I
you
would love
definitely
that.
need to come on. And you need to come up here and
Yeah.
party, or yes, up here and party with us. I was like, wait, where's
Yeah,
the-
we should
Yeah.
we should we should coordinate something where it's like you come up and we party in Baltimore and we can actually like do like a, now that I'm a negative bitch and not not a Miss Rona. Yeah, we could like have a good time where we just like record together all in the
Oh, I
same
would love that.
place,
I
hit
would love
the
that. That would be
clubs,
great.
go to Baltimore.
I'm so down for that.
Okie dokie. Well, everyone, go ahead and follow Sean where he told you to. Go follow me at Max Landon with no vowels. So it's MXLNDN, and then Liv Doomer at
LIVDUMER. And then make sure to follow the podcast. So we're on Instagram. It's getmessy.podcast. And then we're also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're posting to my YouTube. So that's LIVDUMER. So you can watch the full episode, and then TikTok as well. And then what's the TikTok handle, Max?
Get Messy Podcast.
Party. Yay. All right.
Yeah,
Hold on, let
so
me spell
follow
this out
us.
real quick because all right. Tropical, as you know, TROPICAL_REDB0NE_ in case you want to learn more about my catfish experiences.
Love
You
it.
know, shake it like a red bone. All right.
Like
well, well, it's been a pleasure potting with you guys tonight. I'll talk to you soon, Sean. Talk to you soon, Liv. Everyone be safe. Get vaccinated if you can.
Boosted if you
And
can.
if not, you'll probably be fine. I don't know. I'm officially negative, so any of my pals can hang out with me now. But
Yes.
God bless all of
Thanks
you.
for listening.
Have a great night. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye, cunts.